Good evening. Welcome to the Bedminster Township Committee. This is our regularly scheduled September meeting. We're here on Tuesday because of Labor Day holiday. We have a full complement of Township Committee here in person. Committeeman Stevenson, Committeeman Hickey, Committeewoman Mareski, and Committeewoman Fernandez. Ms. Ray, may we please have the open public meetings act statement?
Yes, Mayor. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Bernardsville News Whippany, and to all subscribers and posted at the Township Municipal Building on January 5th, 2024.
Thank you. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So unlike our last meeting, hopefully there's not a mad rush for the microphone. But this is the time of the meeting that we open up the microphone and the lectern right up there for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to make a comment, now's your opportunity. Mr. Christie, you're already standing and you're already walking towards the microphone. So I assume you have a comment to make. Yes, please.
I do, thanks.
And just name and street.
Jim
please.
Christie, Fairview Drive, Bedminster. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
As you all know, I've been a resident of Bedminster for over 30 years. At the August 19th meeting, I sat in the back and listened to the differing viewpoints expressed regarding the Clucas Brook parking ordinance. I want to thank you, the Township Committee, for looking out for the residents of Bedminster. I'm angry at the behavior of the other objectors who don't live here, who are disrespectful of our governing body and our residents. There were insults, outright threats, and derogatory remarks from both the podium here and from the audience. Furthermore, when two Bedminster residents whose lives have been continuously disrupted by this group politely voiced their support of the ordinance, they were interrupted, threatened, and insulted by the objectors. I even heard one out-of-town objector talking to a resident, one of the residents who supported this and has lived here most of his life, and said, well, if you don't like what we're doing, just move. I apologize to those two residents who spoke out and were heckled because I wished I'd come up here and spoke in support of them and in support of you. But I was just too angry to say anything at that point. This ordinance does not take away anyone's First Amendment right to peacefully assemble and demonstrate their views. For the past 8 years, we residents who live near the corner have had our rights to a peaceful weekend taken away many times by blaring car horn and truck horns, loudspeakers, shouts, and taunts. This and the idiotic signs that are displayed just disgust me as a Bedminster resident, as an American citizen, and as a Republican. We residents have grumbled about amongst ourselves about the noise and traffic for the past 8 years, and we hope these people just simply go away. People are free to peacefully express their views, but the actions by members of this group demonstrate they will not be peaceful. We had a pleasant existence before this nonsense started 8 years ago. We want it back. Again, I thank you for the Township Committee for adopting this ordinance, and I totally support your decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Microphone is still available for public comment. Any other members of the public? Mr. Roden, once again, name and street, please.
Michael Roden, Spencer Lane, Pluckman. I'm happy to see there aren't any minions here tonight. That was quite the show last week. One of the things that you might have missed, I left before everyone else did. There's a guy out there with his lights blaring, and you know, it was so immature. I don't know. I do expect we'll see them again when they apply for a special use permit to park for one protest day or something. So, you know, I don't believe it's over at this point. Speaking of which, the parking on Cluckersbrook Road. I have a tendency and an enjoyable habit of riding down Copperwaith Road. It's a lot of fun. I get perfect views of the hills, the Presbyterian church and things like that. But what I have noticed recently are these emergency, what's the state statute, 39.4-197.3, no stopping, parking or standing on Copperwaith Road. If I can, give you a picture of it. My concern about that particular sign, being that it's pretty old. When I looked up the statute, I came across that it was a special traffic regulation not to be in excess of 3 months from effective date, and that it needed to be a resolution passed. I went back through Township's resolutions for the past 3 months this year, actually, resolution or ordinance. I could not find one in regard to that parking regulation. I mean, yeah, it's kind of an interesting place. I'm surprised that, you know, the protesters don't want to be closer to their fearless leader parking over there. I understand that's probably why it was originally done, but you know, is it actually effective right now if there is no 3 months ordinance or resolution that put it into effect? But that's not the reason I'm here tonight. I'm here tonight because of the Kelly Bill. Back in 1991, there was very active committee meetings. Kelly Bill was up at that point. The current committee at that time was totally against the Kelly Bill, wanted nothing to do with it, just kept on coming up with excuses. There were candidates running that were for the township reimbursing on the Kelly Bill. They got elected, and that changed. And the Kelly Bill was done something within the town. Back then in 1991, it was rather interesting. Public comments were only at the end of a committee meeting. So we all had to sit there. They had to do all their work first. Eventually they decided they didn't want us sitting there till 11 o'clock watching them work. And they decided that they were going to offer public comments in the beginning of the meeting, and they still had it at the end of the meeting. I really enjoyed just wait until the end for public comments back then, because then, you know, things were fresh in your mind, that discussions that the committee had that you could make your comments on. So the new committee in about October 93 passed a ordinance that was going to reimburse the all the private neighborhoods in the hills for hydrants and lighting. So realistically, page 2. The Kelly Bill said that they shall reimburse qualified private communities for removal of snow, ice, lighting of roads, and collection of leaves and recycled materials. The agreement that was done covered lighting. As this is the first 10-year commitment. And what they did, they covered lighting on a bulk rate expense. They took the wattage, they took the ballast, and then they took the lowest rate that after 300 kilowatts that you could pay, and they used that as the reimbursement rate. So what the Kelly Bill had said was that qualified private communities could be reimbursed to amount not to exceed the costs that would be incurred by a municipality providing those services. And again, like I said, the town opted to go with the lowest rate possible to reimburse. So the reason I bring this up is there's resolution 2024-26 that was done this year. And it talks about this agreement that was done in 93. And it was, again, 10 years in 2004 and 2013, and came up for a 10-year review this year in 23. Actually, at the end of 23 for 24. And you passed a resolution that did a 1-year continuation of what the existing payments were. Township decided, whereas in this resolution, the township desires to conduct a lighting survey with GPS mapping of the associations to determine actual costs and reimbursements of the said associations. So you're counting lamps, you're deciding whether they're LED or high pressure sodium, checking wattages, I understand. Hopefully in checking the wattages, you're determining illumination also, because I've heard complaints from people that live in neighborhoods where they change the bulbs out and now they've got more light coming in through their windows than they had before. And in this resolution, there is an Exhibit A, which lists the direct payment agreements for the term of January 1st, 24 to December 31st, 24. Lists all the associations, but doesn't list the Hills Highland Master Association. There is no association for Autumn Hill, for Autumn Ridge, or Gatehouse. The reason I bring this up is that those roads are public roads. In the Hills Highlands, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different public roads that the township has taken control over, that they're listed in, well, let's go for brush collection. Would you care to see that? Okay. So why, how do the lights get paid for on these roads? Gatehouse Road, Autumn Ridge Road, Smoke Rise Road and Lane, Revere Drive, Sergeant David Sargent, Stoddard Court, and Stafford Lane. How do they get paid? Don't know. I mean, if there's no list on here for the Highlands Master Association, and those driveways aren't listed, and the town is maintaining those roads and maintaining those street lamps, who pays the bill? I don't know, but we want to know what those bills are. There are 5 meters up there for those lights. They will give you accurate costs on what it cost for a meter. It's the meter, it's the usage, it's the time. There's on David.
Mr. Roden, can you actually express what your comment is? And if there's a question, if you could phrase it, because you're losing me. I'm trying to figure out where you're going with your comment.
Where I'm going at is you're reviewing these things and you need to take proper consideration into the electrical response, the electrical costs. You need to, for what it would cost the town is what the Kelly bill says. And if the town was paying these meters up on these private roads, or they're hiding it somehow by paying someone else, you know, the information I have here says that these roads are not covered under the Kelly bill. So I don't know how the electric's getting paid. I've tried to inquire about that. I've gotten nowhere, non-responsive, whatever it is. And what I'm getting at.
Tell you what, Mr. Roden, we'll ask our DPW to find out who is responsible for those, and we'll get that information directed to you.
And when you put that information together.
And it may or may not be within the Kelly bill, it may or may not be within the agreements with the associations. So you're asking,
well, I'm
making a fair amount of presumptions. So we'll look into that and we'll get that answer back to you.
Well, what I'm asking is that the engineer take this information into consideration, because it is the actual cost that the township is paying for street lighting on those roads up in the Highlands. Those are actual costs. Those are not Those are not costs
Yes,
that
we
are
understand that.
calculated
There's
by an
there's funds,
engineer.
There's energy
and-
being
and-
spent to light.
And you have meter costs and you have a neighborhood, 27 lights. Ain't one meter running 27 lights.
Jason, do you understand Mr. Roden's?
The
Mr.
27
Roden,
lights aren't run
your
by one
comment,
meter.
our DPW director understands what you're looking for. We'll work with him. We'll get that information back to you.
And to the engineer, I would hope that you take that information yourself personally and that, it all comes down to the mayor's in charge and that you personally discuss with the engineer whether you want to lowball the reimbursement or whether you want to pay the actual cost that the township would pay on these roads up in the hills. That's where I'm going.
Okay. Mr. Roden? Had your opportunity for public comments. Thank you very much. Any other member of the public wishing to make a comment? Now's your opportunity. If you are participating via Zoom, bring your cursor down to the bottom on reactions, click on raise hand, and Ms. Ray will put you into queue. Rob?
I am not seeing anybody raising their hand, Mayor.
Okay,
No-
thank
no
you.
questions.
I just do want to follow up with Mr. Christie's comment. I think we articulated this at the meeting and certainly in some responses with the press. I am extremely proud of the behavior of the Township Committee. Commend the reactions of Committeeman Stevenson particularly. Maybe even more so, I'm proud of the two Bedminster residents who got up here, gave their name, gave their address, didn't give any fake names or fake addresses, and made their statements in the face of aggression and intimidation. So special thank you to those residents who came out and special recognition for the, I want to say bravery for showing up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you, and thank you for that support of those residents. So thank you. We do have one set of meeting minutes to approve. That's the August 19, 2024 Township Committee meeting. Any comments regarding those minutes that have not otherwise been provided to Ms. Ray? Hearing none, take motion to approve those minutes.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Let's see, one permit, one raffle, social fair permit for Expect Miracles Foundation, Inc. on September 30, 2024 from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. And an on-premise merchandise raffle to benefit Midland School on September 2024, September 30, 2024 at 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Hamilton Farm Golf Club. Any comments or questions regarding that permit and raffle? Seeing none, take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Monthly
you.
report discussion by subcommittee chair, Committeeman Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Just only update I've got is DPW. Can report that with the rain we've been getting, we're back mowing the lawns, mowing the grass again. Again, the new mowers that we invested in this year we're seeing return on that investment. We're able to get the grass mowed with less days. So kudos to Jason and his crew. We've got mulch ready for pickup for residents and also for delivery, Jason.
Yeah.
Yep. So we can deliver as well. So if you're interested in mulch, please get in touch with DPW. We also had some complaints about the condition of some of the dirt roads. We applied brine to those roads for dust control. So hopefully we'll monitor that. It's just been so dry. Hopefully the rain too will help. Preparing for Fall Fest, that's coming up. I'm sure that we'll hear more about that later. We got the posts also installed on Clucas Brook. And we're just waiting for the signs to come in about no parking. Gas line out on Old Stonehouse, not yet completed, but should be done shortly. The gas project here in Town Hall is going to require a bit of an extension.
That was
So
big gas project?
gas line.
I just want to make sure I got.
Yeah,
this
no,
right.
that's Yeah.
Big ass project.
No, big gas project. It's not the big dig.
Just,
Yeah. I lost my train of thought. Let's see. We'll also be on the lookout for road repairs on steeplechase as our manholes are now starting to pop up on the asphalt. I don't know how that happened.
that would explain those,
It's happening.
yeah.
That's
All
my
right,
report
so-
from DPW.
All right, thank you. Committeeman Higbee.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Just a quick update, Board of Health. We actually have a member of the Board of Health in the audience tonight. Just want to remind everybody, they are sponsoring an education program on Wednesday, October 23rd, in person at the Clarence Dillon Public Library from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. The topic is healthy eating and meal planning. Registration is open. The cost is $10 a person, and more information is available on the website. Mayor, that's all I have.
Vinny just got a look.
He did.
Said healthy eating. So
Healthy. He's going to
Ready?
lead the show.
you're, okay, good, good. Committee women, we're resting.
Thank you, Mayor. Hey, everybody. I don't have anything from my meetings. Tomorrow I have an EC meeting here at 7. But I did get a chance on Monday to walk down the hike and bike, and there was some fencing that's in a little bit of a state of disrepair. So I shot some pictures over to Jason, and they'll take care of that just for some maintenance. And that's all I have.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay. Committee woman Fernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a quick rec update for you. The fall soccer programs are starting just next week, and they have fall soccer, fall multi-sports, and then some after-school programs, which include cooking, Lego engineering, and after-school hip hop for grades K through 4. Fall Fest preparations underway. It will be held on October 12th from 12 to 5 at River Road Park. The rain date is October 13th, so we have a rain date. Activities include inflatables, harvest maze, petting zoo, pony rides, trackless train, hay rides, golf simulator, trailer, pet show, emergency services demo, operating the DPW loader, which is a huge crowd pleaser, balloon twister, face painting, and more.
Adult beverage.
What?
Adult beverage section.
Yeah, there's definitely an adult beverage section. Trunk or treat will be held on Saturday, October 26th from 10:30 to 12:30 at River Road Park. And this year, the Bryce Rosen Memorial 5K will be held on Saturday, October 26th before the trunk or treat, as opposed to before Fall Fest. And check-in will be held at River Road Park beginning at 8:30.
Great.
That's all.
Thank you. There's no land use board meeting this week, and I don't know that we're gonna have one in September.
Correct.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like,
Right.
Doesn't sound like there's any applications pending. Farmers market, what was her number?
1126.
1126 on Saturday. So just once again, we're breaking 1,000, getting folks out there. Just great to see everyone coming out there. Just great opportunity for public community participation, engagement, fantastic. So great to see. We'll see what weather's a little iffy for this weekend, but we'll see. Keep it going. So right now, there's no library board meeting to report on either. We do have an ag advisory meeting coming up. That's next week. So we'll be able to report on that at our following TC meeting. And there's a couple of things I do want to mention, a little outside our normal subcommittee reports. So I've talked about this before, about looking at Pluckerman. Last year, Colin and I convened some of the property and business owners in Pluckerman. We did, I think, 2 separate tours of Pluckerman, of the 202 corridor, going down onto Burnt Mills and a little bit onto Washington Valley, and just seeing if there's anything that can be done, and certainly to hear from the business owners themselves and the property owners about what they would like to see, what could help spur, whether it's beautification or improvements or revitalization of those commercial properties. And we got some ideas from last year, and we reconvened. I guess that was what, 3 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So we reconvened again with our town engineer, our town planner, our municipal traffic engineer, Rob Ray, Colin and I attended as well. And met at the church along with the business owners and property owners. We talked around different ideas, and if there's any more details that may have developed over our meeting from the prior year, and some ideas were thrown out. Branding, so that when you enter Pluckman, that you're in someplace different, right? So that that long block has some recognition. It could be, somewhere where you see, welcome to Pluckman, or historic Pluckman, something like that. Perhaps down at the Somerset Hill Shopping Center, maybe with another sign as you come south by the Kings, or certainly in that area. Another idea was having some sort of consistency in lighting and traffic poles. And there were some other landscaping concepts that were thrown out as well. So we're going to ruminate a little bit on these different ideas. But I just want to say that it's, once again, that the engagement from the property owners who participated, we extended it to just about everyone who owns commercial property in that area, was great. It was fantastic. And I want to give a special thanks to the folks from Somerset Hill Shopping Center, Mark Malillo, who owns, I guess, one building, a smaller building in Pluckman, the folks who bought the former banker site. Weichert was there. They own what used to be the Weichert Realty sign. I did get some feedback from the owners of the Plucky, and I don't know, we had, and the church, of course. We had the church there, which is probably one of the biggest landowners and certainly a notable property. So looking at how we can facilitate better movement north and south on really talking about pedestrians, and also a better movement across the road, right? And what we can do, if there's anything that we should be doing from a land use perspective or zoning perspective to encourage some of these improvements, and if there's any planning grants or anything that we can do to further those improvements. And it is interesting to walk around there. There's some buildings that frankly completely overgrown. Not for sale, not in arrears with taxes, but just completely overgrown. Doesn't look like anyone's in there. And well, what are these property owners doing? So, Robin has a little bit of homework from that meeting, and to, there may be some door knocking to get to those folks, because we want to hear from them what their plans are long term. And once again, we do have, we want to make sure that the vision for Pluckman that the property owners and business owners have is consistent, and that we can help them to the extent possible. So once again, I want to thank everyone who participated in that tour, and we'll be convening again. The other thing I want to mention, once again, off topic of subcommittee chair, is you may have seen that there were some news articles about providing additional funds for the expenses incurred by Bedminster at the request of the Secret Service. So when President Trump is in town and the Secret Service makes a request, that request first goes to Somerset County Prosecutor's Office. Somerset County Prosecutor's Office calls up the chief and says that there's a request for certain assets. I don't know what those assets are. It may be equipment, it may be manpower, it may be both. Certainly that request also comes in and is borne primarily by the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office. The request does not come in from the Trump organization, does not come in from the Trump campaign. That request comes in from the federal government. And certainly after the event in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th, the assassination attempt, there's been discussion about whether the Secret Service is adequately staffed, adequately funded. And to some extent, from July 13th on, the requests have come in from the Secret Service for additional support. When President Trump was president and acting in presidential capacity, the property was afforded presidential home status. And therefore, there was a reimbursement process in place. So when the Secret Service made certain requests, municipal, county, and state, there was a process for tracking and submitting reimbursement for expenses. As a candidate, there is no process for reimbursement. You can ask, but there's no statutorily mandated process for getting the reimbursement. So since those requests have been coming into the chief has been letting me know that these requests have been coming in. So the question that I posed back to Congressman Kane was, is there a process to help assure that we get paid? And Congressman Kane wrote letters to the state Department of Homeland Security, the state NJDHS, as well, or I guess it's OHS, Office of Homeland Security, and also reached out to the Federal Department of Homeland Security, which includes the Secret Service as well as FEMA. And the FEMA federal DHS said, yep, no guarantees.
Great.
But we send a lot of money to the state. So maybe the state, maybe you guys ought to talk to the state. So Congressman Kane wrote a very detailed letter to the state DHS. And at the same time, I was reaching out to our liaison at the governor's office, reaching out to the county commissioners, because once again, the county prosecutor's office is bearing a fair amount of these expenses. And also to the delegates from our legislative district, Senator Steinhardt, Assemblyman DeMayo, Assemblyman Peterson. And, the good news is, between whether it's from the governor's office or from Somerset County or our legislative delegates and Congressman Kane, we all have support. Everyone says, yep. State of New Jersey, to the extent that the state of New Jersey incurs expenses, to the extent that Somerset County incurs expenses, and to the extent that Bedminster Township incurs expenses at the direction or request of the Secret Service, that there should be a program set up for reimbursement of all those responding agencies. Congressman Kane has introduced legislation at the federal level to set up a program for reimbursement of all the local resources, once again, municipality, county, and state. And we had a meeting here, once again, with representatives from the county, from the state of New Jersey, our liaison with the governor's office. We had a representative from Senator Booker's office. A request went out to acting Senator Helmy. Congressman Kane was here, Steinhardt, and state police representatives and county representatives. And afterwards, Senator Steinhardt and Congressman Kane held a little press conference out there that I was able to participate. So I certainly want to thank everyone who worked together from within Bedminster. We were also represented by Chief Bernardo, Lieutenant Polito from the Police Department, Chief Brienza, and President Ron Kennedy from the Fire Department, and President Siegel and Captain Yang from Bedminster First Aid. We also had representatives from the state police here who talked about their involvement. The prosecutor, Somerset County prosecutor, and his assistant were here. They talked about their participation. And to the extent that we're sharing in these expenses, we are We're that. We're a fraction of what the county and the state resources are being administered at the request of the Secret Service. But we were the ones to ask. So I think there was a perception that this was the similar process, that you would just track your expenses and submit it to DHS and you'd get reimbursed. Well, that's not the case unless Congressman Kane's legislation goes through. It has bipartisan support, certainly within the New Jersey delegation from Senator Booker's office, and Acting Senator Helmy has indicated support as well. So we're hoping that there's additional support throughout Congress, and that comes in, and that for the next however many more months it's going to be, or weeks, that request comes in, that the chief feels confident in properly responding to those requests. Once again, there's a number of security issues at stake. So I don't know the details. I don't want to know the details. I don't know what the details of the county or the details of the state police. And actually, to some extent, it goes back to actually what those expenses are. May have some round ideas, but don't want to give anything that's that we reverse engineered to figure out just exactly what our participation is on security elements. So once again, just want to thank everyone who worked together and convened and continue to push that through and get Bedminster reimbursed for our small portion of participation at the request of the Secret Service. Ms. Ray, may we please have the administrator's report?
Yes, Mayor. We spent the last couple of weeks really focusing our efforts on the town hall roof project, holding several team meetings to kind of keep that on track and get that moving, as well as Fall Fest planning meetings, and also the Miller Lane Pump Station project team meetings internally, and then also with the EPA. Coming up at the end of September, we have a joint sewer utility and STAB meeting that's coming up. Peter Black, our engineer from Dewberry, will be here to go over the project, give us a status update. The documentation for the grant has been submitted to the EPA for review. Now we're just waiting for them to give us the thumbs up on the alternative purchase to Buy American requirements on the pumps. And let's see, we also had a special land use communications meeting between construction, fire, engineering, and zoning. I just need to get everybody on the same page because we have a lot of projects that crossover, and so we're going to plan on meeting once a month just to kind of keep the communications rolling. Of course, the Pluckman Streetscape meeting and the meeting with the Senator Steinhardt here on the 29th, as well as James is looking into credit card processing for Fall Fest. So it looks like we've got that buttoned up to be able to accept a credit card admissions and the beer tent. Great, that's good. And that concludes my report.
Tying right back into Committeeman Stevenson's earlier comment about adult beverages.
Gotta make sure everybody's happy,
Everything
you
comes
know?
back, right? Full circle.
Chief, any updates on community policing? I know I think at our last meeting, we briefly talked about National Night Out.
Yes, we have two coffee with the cop events this month. The first one's on September 14th at the Black River Deli in Pottersville from 8 to 10 a.m. And then we're going to be having another one on September 28th at the Farmers Market at 9 a.m.
Great.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you. We have no ordinances to introduce tonight. We have no public hearing of ordinances. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items on the consent agenda. These are items of a routine nature. Any township committee member may pull any one or all of them off for individual consideration. Seeing none, take a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacob.
Aye.
Thank you.
We do have one resolution for individual consideration. That resolution is 2024-113. authorizes designation of a qualified purchasing agent, QPA. And this maintains Bedminster Township's maximum bid threshold of $44,000. Ms. Red.
Yes, well, as you know, when we hired James Tricarico, our assistant treasurer, we were also looking for a QPA. We appointed him as the acting QPA, which we can do. He had taken all the classes, he just needed to sit for the exam. So I'm pleased to report that James passed his exam. And so he officially is our QPA, and so now he has another distinction behind his name of state credentials, and so we're very happy for him. And as we promised, there would be a salary increase associated with that, which we had planned for and was part of his employment package.
Okay, any further questions or comments regarding that resolution? Seeing none, take a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye. Congratulations, James, and thank you. Take a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call again. Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Hickey.
Aye.
Ms. Moreski.
Aye.
Ms. Fernandez.
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
Any member of the Township Committee have an item for new business? Seeing none, we'll proceed to old business. DOT improvements, Route 206 and Lamington Road crosswalk. So I did get a response from Meredith Hammond regarding extending the pedestrian cross from Lamington towards the library. And she said it was implemented last week. And I haven't tested it. But she said that it was performed. So Robin, with that, I'm ready to take item A off of
There we go.
business.
Okay,
Yeah, all right.
that's one.
Took a while, state government moves a little more slowly than municipal government, but we got it done.
Yay.
Utilities.
We won't be taking that off anytime soon. Like me. to give
Back
an
your update?
Yeah, no, I'll give an update. Let's start with JCP&L, our favorite topic. We had an outage beginning on the morning of Monday, August 26th. That lasted several hours. Over 1,500 customers were impacted at Bedminster, Far Hills, and Peapack Gladstone. This time it was the ever elusive squirrel who managed to chew through a power line and met an untimely demise. Mayor, as you discussed last week, 2 weeks ago, we are still waiting on a comprehensive reliability report so that we can schedule a public meeting with JCP&L. Either will be later this month or early next. We have not seen that report despite our multiple requests. More to follow once we know more on that one.
Right, we were told about 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
2 to 2.5 weeks,
And that was-
that were 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah,
And once again, this is not just with our local liaison, but this is actually with JCP&L's state liaison.
Right.
So we've pushed it up the food chain a bit. And we were told, absolutely, we'll bring folks in, we'll have an engineer to talk about the reliability report. And we told them we're going to target September 16th. That's our next meeting. So
Clock's ticking.
we'll be
Yep.
following up with them to confirm. And also if we do, whether it's going to be September 16th or whether it's going to be one of our October meetings, check Rave, check the Township social media, and also check the website. So we'll put alerts out once that meeting is scheduled and certainly firmed up.
yeah, we'll certainly get
Is there
the word out.
more? Is there more with JCP&L?
There's no more on JCP&L. I can give you a quick update on Altice if you want.
Sure.
We pushed to have a field services representative assigned to us, and that individual has since been identified and has been well received by the associations. He's been meeting with them and working with residents to iron out some issues associated with some of the initial fiber installs. So I'm glad we had the opportunity to make that assist and get some course corrections in place sooner rather than later. That's been working out pretty well. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Doug and John. Is there,
I'll just-
no, I see.
I'll just say, I feel bad for Robin. She tried to coordinate a conference call, like, it was like herding cats last week. We were all flying around in different directions, so we're trying to get a call going, but that's to follow in the very short future, which we'll
Okay.
probably do it without you.
And so there's, once again, there's nothing to report, certainly
No.
nothing that you guys can report publicly.
No.
Okay. Somerset Hills Public Safety Committee, Robin, when's our next? I know we talked about it last.
Yes, I'm not gonna be back. I'm not gonna be back in time. It's that last day. It's 4
Well-
o'clock on the 12th.
So while Robin, so it's the September 12th? September 12th. So one of the things that we can report is some of the other municipalities have moved forward on purchasing. I'm not sure where they are on the, well, I guess there's some have been installed. This is the license plate readers. Can't talk about the details again, but Chief Bernardo has been in discussions with the vendors, the principal vendor for license plate readers. And hopefully within the next meeting or two, we'll actually have a resolution to purchase some license plate readers at locations that chief will select. So it's part of the coordinated effort with all the towns, and certainly it's something that Chief Bernardo and Lieutenant Plato endorse. So we're looking to support them in that capacity. We have an executive session tonight. We will not be taking any action following the executive session. So we'll go through Township Committee comments. We'll adjourn to executive session. And then we'll come back to public session for final adjournment. So Township Committee comments. Committeeman Stevens.
Just real quick, Mayor, I wanted to thank you for spearheading the Pluckerman discussion with the business owners over there. I don't want it to get lost on the residents that it's essential that our commercial folks succeed in the town, because as Mayor Parker used to give the analogy of making the pizza pie every year you got to bake the pie. No matter what happens, you got to present a pizza pie, and who's going to put the ingredients in? We want that burden, if you will, to fall to the commercial folks as much as we can to ease the burden on the residents. And so with the robust commercial properties and fully rented out businesses and establishments that are doing well, that's the key recipe for helping us keep our taxes low. So thank you, Mayor, for seeing again the world at 360.
Thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
Mayor, I have no comments. Thank you.
Committeewoman Mareski.
I have nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Committeewoman Fernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to congratulate James Chicarico on his passing his test and being our new QPA. That's all.
Great, and congratulations, James, and also want to thank the Bedminster residents who came out today for public comment, especially for their support of the no parking ordinance and for recognizing the 2 residents who spoke up in support of that ordinance in the face of opposition. So at 7:49, I'll take a motion to adjourn to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
All right.
Now I'm dynasty.
Good evening. It's 8:41. The Township Committee has returned from our executive session. As I indicated earlier, we are not taking any formal action following our executive session. And we've already gone through Township Committee comments. I'll take a motion to adjourn for the evening.
So second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you and good night.
Good night.
Good.
Hi. This is not quite as exciting as last week.
One of these days, you're going to break that gavel.